Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? All right, so that's good to hear. Well, give me a second. Actually, I'm gonna see some. Oh, interesting chat rate too. All right, whatever. Everything seems to be going pretty well. That's good to hear. I'm not gonna really look into that. We're gonna look into this because that is going to be the fun part. Dropped frames. Hopefully not. Oh, yeah. I just realized why. Doesn't matter. I'm not really. Whatever. Give me 1 second, guys. I really don't do live streams that often, but mm, can I? What's going on here? Bingo. Whatever. All right. So it probably might require a second monitor. Sorry, guys. It's gonna be a little bit. I'm not really used to. How would we say? I'm not used to streaming, so we'll see how it goes. I might check up on y'all every now and then, so just give me a second. Um, Capture top moments. I'm not really about that. Don't care. All right, guys. Today we are going to actually look at YouTube's guidelines, and I want to go over most of them because I'm sorry. It's gone to that point. I'm not going to talk much. I'm sorry. I just want to kind of, how would we say, just get into it, and that's it. The reason why I don't want to talk too much is because we are going to do something where it's like, no offense, but YouTube can't do anything about it. If I don't speak and I just show you their policy, I will speak about some of it. But if I don't talk about anything, I don't show an opinion, they can't do anything about it because I'm just showing them their own policy. So if they like red flag that or try to shadow ban that, that's kind of concerning because that means they have more um that means they will have more power than you actually think or what they say they do. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But give me 1 second, guys. All right, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna have to go into every single one of them. So we're not gonna get into this. It takes like because it says kind of like the same thing. If you hire someone to promote your channel, their decisions may impact your channel. Blah blah blah. So this is about fake engagement. Blah blah blah. Don't post content if it's in the description below. Links to or promotes third-party servers that artificially inflate metrics like views, likes, and subscribers. Content linking or to or promote Interesting. I'm offering to subscribe to another creator's channel only if they subscribe to you. Oh, sub for sub. Interesting that they got rid of all this stuff. Examples of video testimonial in which a creator shows themselves successfully pushing an artificial page traffic. Okay, so that one is not really that at all like important. Personation, I think we all get. External links, I don't know that much. Child safety, we all know about that. Thumbnails and um. I'm not gonna go over all of them because that would take too long. But YouTube. This is for also YouTube. This is extremely educational. This is all educational stuff. So don't get at me. I'm just going to tell them and educate them on your policy. So don't get at me. But don't post a thumbnail or image from YouTube's policy that shows pornographic imagery, sexual acts, or the use of these things, nudity, including genitals, imagery that depicts unwanted sexualization, violent imagery that intends to shock or disgust, graphic or disturbing imagery of blood or gore, vulgar or lewd language, thumbnail that misleads views. Okay, so that's interesting. YouTube, you do not do a lot of that. You do not actually do anything with thumbnails that mislead views. You want to know why? I know. I've no offense to some of the creators I watch, but I've done that. I've done that. I've definitely seen people out there who do that, or how would we call it, clickbaity. I'm not trying to be mean, but clickbaity is kind of annoying. I'm sorry, it is. But what is it that we got to that? External spam, deceptive practices, and scams. Let's see, we're not gonna watch the video. If you're posting content, video spam content that is excessively posted, repetitive, or untargeted, that and does one of the more promising viewers, they'll see some, but instead it directs them offside. Gets clicks, views, or traffic off YouTube by promising viewers that they'll make. So they really do mean like spam and scams. So that should be kind of simple. This one definitely is going to be simple for everybody. I think y'all should know that you just cannot, do almost any of this. Explicit content that don't post the depiction of clothed or unclothed areas or buttocks that are meant for sexual gratification. Which, no offense, how would you know if it's no offense to them, but how would you know if it was for that? Because some people are nudists. Some people are nudists. They do it because that is their belief. They believe that the being nude is just better. In a sense, I don't know their religion that much, but I do know that's a thing. We obviously don't show this. The depiction of, yeah. That's interesting. So you can do clips of areas like that. Groping, pantsing, which kissing, public ups. That's funny. Voyeurism, predatory. Okay, or any of the other kind of depicts someone without. Oh, okay. Well, obviously it's without the consent, so that's an issue. Content that depicts behavior that's meant for. The above are just some examples. See, the thing. Also, everybody here, everybody on this live stream or whatnot, understand this. Most of these policies are a note. Under the above are just some examples. If you think. It's not just the examples. They usually have this list is incomplete, but they don't tell you what the rest of the list is. So the issue becomes they can literally just be like, "Oh, you did something wrong. Bye." I truly do believe that. Everyone knows not to do the self-ending and self-harm. Playlist kind of exist under the realm of all the others. Just that's the easiest way to put that, because we're gonna get into the other stuff. That's what I want to get into. But this one is the newest one that apparently a lot of people are getting a lot of heat for, which I also think is very funny, because it's the one thing I think that's very recent that a lot of people are mad at. So. We may consider the following factors when deciding whether to age restrict, remove content, or issue a strike. So this is explicit content that violates could result in age restriction, which is whatever. But these are the things: use of explicit language or narratives. Okay, that's interesting. Excessive profanity in the content. Interesting. What is excessive? Because some people have Tourette's. Now, I will say Tourette's is usually not necessarily vulgar in any sense. It kind of is sometimes just random spits of words. Use of heavy profanity or terms in the content's title, thumbnail, or associated metadata. Interesting. Use of excessive sounds. Exactly. The above list is incomplete. So you could literally do anything. Technically, I'm just technically speaking under this policy, you do anything with profanity or sexual things that they haven't even described here, and you can possibly get, content removal, strike, age restriction. Because under the law, they said, oh, we're just letting you know that it's not complete, so do it at your own risk. We all know what would happen. We've already heard what happens. Additional policies. This is going to be inactive accounts. That's interesting. Not logging into never having uploaded video content. See, that's interesting. Not actively protecting. See, this one is the one that gets me, because I see a lot of channels that do that. No offense, you do whatever you want, but I also don't really care what happens for that. Also, people don't encourage the terms of service violations. I don't encourage, condone, or do anything to do against the policies of YouTube. That's all I'm going to say. We may ask you to confirm posting previously. This is for anyone out there. Posting previously removed content or content from terminated or restricted creators. Why are they, how are they restricted, and how did you get to it? But maybe because you exist or whatever. But content from terminated, previously removed. Interesting existence of a rule over there. Now, we're about to get into some interesting things, because this is where it gets really gray, I believe. See, safety, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Content that threatens individuals is not allowed on YouTube. But child P is. So, we also don't allow content that targets an individual with prolonged or malicious insults based on intrinsic attributes. Okay, you say intrinsic. What about extrinsic? Things on the outside that you can clearly see. Do you allow that? It's just questionable because it's funny how you only use one thing. How you only use one word that actually means a very specific area rather than the entire generality of it. That's all I'm going to say. These attributes include their protected group status. That is very vague. That is very vague. Their let's actually go to the protected group status. Protected group status are these, which is literally everything you could be. Everything. Anything you can be. Nope. Whoops. Okay, so if you find content that report it, interesting. Funny how you say that. Instructions for reporting blah blah blah. So you say if specific threats are made against you and you feel unsafe. Okay, what about all those channels other people swat and dox because they are opinions that they don't agree with? YouTube. What about that? There's a lot of creators right now getting doxxed and swatted on false charges or false accusations that have done nothing wrong only because people got offended by them. So what about that? Interesting. These attributes include their protected group and or physical traits. So you just don't want freedom of speech, is what I hear. We also don't allow content that targets an individual with prolonged or malicious insults based on anything. I'm sorry, but if you're allowed to speak, you will exist with insults. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't encourage it, but if you have the freedom to speak and you have the freedom to create things, you have the freedom to insult because anyone could take anything you say as an insult. So YouTube, you might want to calm down on that just a little bit. The specific thing is different. Now, if it's an actual threat, that's fair. I get that. That's fine. If you're posting a content that features prolonged name calling or malicious, such as a racial, so based on someone's intrinsic attributes. These attributes include their physical attributes or their status as a survivor of SA, non-consensual IID, DA, so the home attacks, the home harm, the child harm, and more. So, and more, the random stuff that just you don't know about, that they'll just, get you on. Oh. Ooh, guys, we actually found the list of all their, I guess you would say, secret rules. And yes, I will call them that, YouTube. I'm sorry. That is exactly what they are, and you know it. Alright, guys, so let's... Alright, so content with the intent to shame, deceive, or insult a minor. I love how they have to specifically put minor because we are allowed to say whatever we want to adults. Or are we not adults? Because if an adult can say whatever they want to another adult, I'm sorry, you do. You have the freedom of speech under the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So freedom of speech also does not include the freedom from consequence, though. But also, at the same time, you do not have the freedom to be protected from offense. So you don't just get to go out there and be like, oh, no one can harm me, no one can insult me or offend me. You don't have that right. Sorry, you don't. It's not in the Constitution, it's not in the Bill of Rights, so it doesn't exist. Or not really. Okay, so these are the other types of content that violates this policy. Revealing someone's personally identifiable information, PII, which a lot of that's against like a lot of things right there if you do that. So a lot of people right now, especially on the certain political aspects, should be immediately taken off of YouTube. But YouTube won't do that. You want to know why? They doxed other people and swatted them. So yeah, again, people, what's up? What's with this towing the line? Not even towing the line. What's with this giving, some people, good action, some people bad action, and you can clearly see which side they're on. So what's that? YouTube, tell me, what's up? such as their home address, email address, sign-in credentials, phone. There's several people right now that have done that. Tim Pool, it's happened to him like 5 times. What's up with that, YouTube? What's up with that? You say you don't allow this, yet you absolutely have seen him get. He's easily said right now like 5 times. I think he's been swatted. So I'm just very interested in where your lines actually draw in sense of this. This doesn't include posting widely available public information can include an official's office, the phone number. Interesting. But content that incites others to harass or threaten individuals on or off YouTube. I don't know anyone that incites that, but okay. Content that encouraged a use of fan behavior such as dox. Okay, again, what happened to Tim Pool? Where are those people who doxed him? Where? There's a lot of people right now, I think, on YouTube, especially on a certain political aisle, that are being doxed. But what? Brigading or off-platform targeting. So yeah, what's up with that? Content that targets as an identifiable individual as part of a harmful conspiracy, or the conspiracy has been linked to direct threats or. That's funny because last time I remember a lot of things right now are being considered conspiracy theories. If you can label something, you can dissuade it. You can misuse it. Especially if you can label it, especially as something harmful. You can just get rid of it. You can get rid of all rules that actually apply to it, which a lot of people have right now, which I find very interesting. Content making implicit or explicit threats or physical harm or destruction of property against Okay, again, Andrew Tate, I think, is one of them, or certain people like that. There are certain lines where people have tried to hurt people. Elon Musk, people have tried to hurt him and his child, I think, right now. So, or a few weeks ago. So yeah, YouTube, what's up with that? Please give me a email or something about like what y'all did with these, because that's very concerning. Because I don't see anyone getting like banned for this, or anyone getting like thrown out of YouTube for this. Include threats that don't express a specific time, place, or means, but may feature. Okay, so implicit means essentially just like insinuating, which I don't know anyone that actually insinuates violence here. I know a lot of people who play games that are violent and stuff like that. Content posted by vigilantes restraining or assaulting. Okay, Elon Musk. Content that depicts a staged meetup that's content reveling in or mocking. Content that depicts creators. Okay, so all this is like just don't do bad things. Feature none. Obviously, content. Wow, who knew? Debates related to high-profile scripted performances and harassment education or awareness. Wow, YouTube, I'm a harassment education awareness right now for your policies. Monetization and other penalties, we don't care. So we just did that. That was just one. This is now. What about harmful and dangerous content policies? We recently recognized our community guides are reorganized to provide further clarity about our policy related to misinformation. Funny. To review this project, no. Why is it specifically misinformation and election misinformation? Information you don't like is not misinformation. That's all I'm going to say. YouTube doesn't allow content that encourages dangerous or illegal activity that risk serious physical harm or death. So what if it's like not serious? No, I just love the wording because it's like, so you allow semi-physical harm, like mediocre, like, because you're talking about like maiming someone. I'm kidding. I don't encourage any of that. I just think it's funny that they use specifically serious. If you find content that if you're posting content, extremely dangerous challenges, dangerous pranks, instructions to kill or harm, obviously don't do that. Hard drug use or creation, interesting, funny. Eating disorders. Okay, so eating disorders. What was up with that girl like a few years ago who was literally a twig, black hair? I don't remember her name or anything. What about her? Why was she still? And then it's not that she was imitating or doing anything. She was under anorexia. She says she was diagnosed. But from my understanding, she was able to get like people to kind of like, I wouldn't say agree with her, but so she was able to get some people to do not do things. Like, it wasn't on her specifically, but I think some people were like happy with her and like help. Some people were trying to mimic her, not necessarily, but instructional theft or cheating, hacking, bypassing payment for digital content. Funny. We may consider the following factors when deciding whether to. Oh, so now here's where real things get in, because this is literally just about like, keep in mind that this isn't a complete, whether the act in question could lead to serious injury or death. So this is preemptive. So this is preemptive policy creation, in the sense of, or policy enforcement. So whether the act in question could anything you do in this world could lead to serious injury or death. Anything. You kick a rock, there's a possibility you accidentally sprain your ankle, you hit your head on the ground, boom. Whoopsies. And it was a fine, clear day. I'm not saying it should happen. I don't want it to happen. But reality is, you could have one real unlucky draw of a rock. I'm not saying it's going to, the odds of it are not likely, but this is preemptive enforcement. Preemptive, as in they're just like, oh, possibly, so we're just going to get rid of it entirely. This is essentially thought police. No offense, it is. And the reason why I say that is because thought policing is the same thing. Oh, is it possible that because you said this, it might occur, so we're just going to get rid of you entirely, just so we can just get rid of it before it even happens. You cannot. Is it innocent? But are you innocent until proven guilty, or are you guilty till you're proven innocent? Which one is it? Because you can't have both. You are, and we go by the world. In this world, we go by you are innocent till proven guilty. You have to have 99% unquestionable evidence to prove someone is guilty before you can charge them with something. Or at least that's how it used to be. Now it's kind of just like, oh, well, she said something, so he's going to jail. Whether the individuals participating in the act are trained professionals taking precautions to prevent injury. Now, these are probably with like dangerous stunts and state, but whether minors can easily imitate the act. What if you're a psychology degree with a bachelor's and you're just telling the reality of the situation? Not telling you to do anything, but just telling you how the world actually works and stuff like that. Not with like pranks and stuff, but just general like the world. What about that? Because I have a degree, I've studied reality, psychology, and how things work. But sadly, those realities are not positive. There's very rarely a positive outlook on the reality of things. So what about that? Whether the conduct could be used to commit serious acts of violence could be used. Anything to anyone or someone out there could be used to do this. This is what I mean. This is preemptive enforcement, or preemptive, how we say, control of something, because it is before it actually occurs. Whether the upload is educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic in nature, whether there's any commentary discouraging the act, whether the viewer can tell if it's real or fake, whether the content promotes a product that contains blah blah blah. A video about fake, harmful pranks, reaction video to a danger. Oh, okay, a video promoting. I love this. This is so random. Of age-restricted content, a video promoting cannabis dispensary, a video reviewing brands of nicotine e-liquid, which, okay, a video providing instructions for or facilitating cheating. Cheating of what? Dangerous or threatening pranks, violent. Okay, so these are literally like the most. Oh, it's interesting. Okay, so this is going to be fun. Hate speech, because it's not hate speech, it's just speech you don't like. So, on June, blah, blah, blah. So these are the new changes. Hate speech is not allowed on YouTube. We remove content promoting violence or hatred against... Okay, so I don't know that many people who actually promote violence or hatred. Do you know anyone that actually promotes that? Because please let me know. Please let me know. And let me guess who they are. Please let me guess. There are a lot of right-wing people. Because I find that, I promise you, there probably are right-winged people that they will say is hatred or violent people or promoting this. But whatever. To each their own. Do whatever. So, you cannot say things against the people, or you cannot incite or promote things or violence or hatred against people based on these attributes: age, caste, disability, ethnicity, gender identity, and expression. So, yeah. Nationality, race, which your nationality is your fucking race. The hell? We are the human race. Your ethnicity and nationality are the thing, are what make you kind of different. Is that where you came from is slightly different, but you are the human race. There is no race problem. Now, is there a racist thing going on? Yeah, because people exist. I don't agree with it, but it is something. Immigration status, religion, sex, gender, love it. Sexual orientation, victims of a major violent event and their kin. Interesting. Veteran status. Oh, victims of a major violent event and their kin. Okay, so every race that ever existed. You cannot talk badly about anyone. I am including white people because a lot of things happen to us too. 1940s Russia, the gulags. Look it up. So you just don't want. Well, now, yes, it's to promote. Yes, they're saying don't do this, and in the promotion of violence, it's like you can't do this. All right, so what if I'm not promoting? I'm not going to ever promote violence. Okay, YouTube, I'm never going to promote it or hatred or whatever. But what if I'm just speaking about it, talking about it, describing, and lecturing the existence and the properties of said observation. That's what I'm doing. I made an observation, a cute observation, and I spoke on it. And it was correct. What then? Because everyone doesn't want to mention the Russians in the gulags in the 1940s during World War II when possibly almost 20 million white people got just... And not even like in a bad way, they were just worked to death. They were literally just go outside, do the thing, and that's it. And about 20 million of them. I think through the 60s, they all ended up about 20 million people. So, but remember, they're European. So Russians back then were white. I mean, that's what they are. So you can talk about your event. I'll talk about my event. And, all right. What are you going to do about it? It happened. You can't say it didn't, because there's a reason why it's called the Russian gulags, or why people make jokes about, like, go send them to the gulag. There's a reason why. That's a stereotype almost. Because it was horrible. Encouraged by, based on any of the above, we don't allow threat and incite hatred against individuals based on any of the attributes noted above. Ooh, other types. Okay, see, guys, these are all the secret like things I don't think people are actually gonna like look into. So, guys, dehumanizing individuals group by calling them subhuman, comparing them to animals, insects, pests, disease, or any other non-human entity. All right, so what about feminists and all the people or all the women and TikTokers who say kill all men? What about that? Or that we are better than human, or that all men just need to die or go away. What about that? What about all the misandry going out there? So yeah, that you don't believe in that unless it's against women. I'm just saying. You don't believe in this dehumanizing thing. You don't do it fairly. I promise you that. You do not. I promise you, if we went to an apples comparison of how many channels who said certain things were banned and how many like men's channels that said this were banned and how many female channels, I promise you, I would bet you my next 2 paychecks there were far more female channels that said certain really, really, really negative things that were allowed to stay, and there was a lot more men's channels banned, or at least shadow banned and like dumbed down, where the females were actually just let to stay and do nothing about it. I promise you right now, I would bet to my next 2 paychecks that. Ooh, those are going to be nice too. Okay, so praise or glorify violence against individuals or group based on the attribute noted above. Okay, hopefully no one does that. Use of racial, religious, or other slurs and stereotypes incite or promote hatred. Okay, this can take the form of speech, text, or imagery promoting these stereotypes or treating them as factual. Oh, slurs. Okay, so what about all the people saying the N-word? Wow. What about it? Regardless if it's the people who technically it was used against, Like what about you? You still allowed to? They're still allowed to say that. And I'm not being mean, guys. You do whatever the hell you want. I'm just saying, if we're going to be fair, because y'all believe in equality, what about all those N words I hear? All of them. Claim that individuals or groups are physically or mentally inferior, deficient, or diseased based on any of the attributes. This includes statements that one group is less than another, calling them less intelligent, less. Okay, no, see, you can't do that. You can't do that because there are differences between the two sexes. You cannot, by the rules of this universe and God alone in Himself, you cannot say they are not better, but they are. But you're also saying that you can't say they are less capable. I'm sorry, you can. If okay, I promise you right now, the odds are I am stronger than most, or not most, but I am stronger than, I would say, at least like 60% of women. Now, I'm working out, so I'm trying, but I promise you, I probably am more capable in my physical strength than women are. Absolutely, 100%. I don't care if shadow ban me, whatever you want. You cannot put in this small little less capable or damaged. Now you're saying this from the attributes above. I'm saying that in reality, women are not usually, generally, not as strong as men. That's a fact. That is a universal fact. Unless you use chemicals or illegal substances to make themselves stronger, and even at that point, they're usually not as strong as the men. I'm sorry. We literally dumbed down the American army so that could happen. So that women could just become even slightly equal to men in the army. Because we had to dumb down the entrance exam, physical entrance exam, just so women could like stay in, and they didn't. But do whatever. You can say whatever. Now, claim that individual groups are physically or mentally inferior, deficient, or above. That includes things that one group is less than another, calling them less intelligent, less capable, or less damn. Allegedly superior. Now, I'm not saying anyone's superior. I will, however, say men on average are generally stronger. That's a fact. That is a universal fact. No amount of policy or anything will ever change that. I promise you put 10 men in a row of each other, and you put 10 women in a row of each other, and you told them to fight, I promise you those men are coming out on top. I'm sorry. You are. You want to know why? They're stronger. Their bones are denser. The muscles are usually bigger and denser as well, heavier. And they just have more elasticity and more strength in them because testosterone is a chemical that actually exists. Alleged superiority over those to justify violence, discrimination. No, we don't do that here. Conspiracy theories saying individual groups are evil, corrupt, or malicious based on feminism. Feminism has been saying that a lot right now about men. So YouTube, what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna do anything about those channels? Oh, you're not? I wonder why. I really do. Because we all know you're not going to do anything. Call for the subjugation of domination over individual groups as deny or minimize a well-documented major violent event or the victimhood of such an event. Attacks on a person's emotional, romantic... You say attacks. What if I just describe the situation? Content containing containing including the recruitment of new members or requests for financial for the music video, blah blah, educational. Okay, I'm never glad something happened. However, certain things do exist, and it might be your fault. You have to take responsibility for the actions you take and the consequences that occur afterwards. You have to. That is the world you live in. The person, are dogs or are like animals. They're not like animals. They're just dumb. We're not talking about organization we don't know. Okay, so guys, I'm sorry, but that's gonna be violent graphic. Okay, so we don't do animal things. So inciting others to commit violent acts against an individual or defined group of people, fights involving minors, footage, audio, imagery involving road accidents, all the like natural things, footage of imagery showing bodily footage of blood or vomit with the intent of shock. Footage, okay. Fictional. These are interesting. Violent physical video, still imagery, audio, footage filmed by a dramatized or fictional footage of content prohibited by these guys, whether the view is not given, whatever. All right, guys. So I'm sorry, I'm letting y'all know that's gonna be the end of the live stream right there. I know none of y'all are here. It's all right, but I hope y'all enjoy. I'm going to maybe download this later so I can use it later because I'm sorry. I want to post this, and I want to post this as a regular video too because I'm sorry. There are very concerning things about these policies because they are very much in my feels, or they say certain things that can't actually be existent, or they can't actually really be stopped. You can't stop certain things. You can't tell me. You can't tell me I cannot say a fact. I'm sorry, because there are facts out there that you might not like, but they are still facts. All right, guys, that's going to be the end of the live stream. I hope y'all enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm going to try and do some with this later, though, all right? I'll see you on the next one, all right? Peace.